Trina. Rejoice, Robin Jackson. Joyce Otis. Minister Amy, rejoice. Stephen, rejoice. Julian, yo, I just saw your message, my bad. Nicole, rejoice. Sister Ann, rejoice. Bree, rejoice. Shanice, welcome, baby. Rejoice. Hey, Mavis, rejoice. Brother Sullivan, it's good to see you. Rejoice. Sister Shirley, rejoice. Sister Irene, rejoice. Big Daddy, rejoice. The Murphys in the house. Rejoice, all things considered. Minister Amy, rejoice. Jeanette, rejoice. All things considered, rejoice. Come on, let's get in here. Let's share. Let's share if we can. Let's save the world. One soul at a time. Jametta, rejoice. Beat, rejoice. Pastor Taylor, rejoice. Let's get in here, children. Let's get in here. Reverend Fairley's in the house. Rejoice. Krusty, rejoice. Come on, children. Let's get in here. Let's get in here. Simone, rejoice. Caron, rejoice. Lil D, rejoice. That's so funny when I say that. Rejoice, rejoice. Let's get in here. Let's get in here. Let's love, share, subscribe. Linda, call me after work. I have my phone on so you can call me during work or whenever your break is. Rejoice. Sandra, rejoice. My stuff is going slow. Sharon, rejoice. All right, let's get in here, guys. Megan, you're dragging your feet. Hola. Mr. Constance, are you packing? Lady Conley, okay. And Joe, rejoice. Gloria, rejoice. Come on. Hey, Peaches, come on, let's get in here. Bizet in the house. All right, Pastor Payne all the way. Louisiana. Or somewhere nearby. There you go. Rejoice. Jazz is in the house. Let's get started so we can move on from our lesson on Sunday. Chasing wisdom. Now we're going to break it up. We're going to talk about it a little while. We're going to see what we can do with it. We're going to see what your understanding is. And then we can give you, Megan said, my bad. We give you helpful hints. All right, the Gooches are on. Rejoice. Come on, we got some folk missing here. Let's get in here, children. Dr. Austin, Sherelle, rejoice. First Lady, Cousins, rejoice. Rejoice. Katisha, rejoice. Pumpkin, Jeremy in the house. Rejoice. Now you're coming on in. Come on in, Dr. Tatum. Come on in. All right, let's talk about chasing wisdom. Let's break it down just for a little bit. Shoot me some answers. Let me know you understand the lesson, okay? You ready? Get your fingers ready. Let's get your fingers ready. Let's get them going. Let's get them going. Let's go. All right? Adrian, rejoice. Sunday, we spoke about chasing wisdom, and we wanted to put a definition to some things. Hey, Jonathan, rejoice. We wanted to put a definition to some things, so we talked about chasing, and the synonyms of chasing is to track, to troll, to pursue, to follow. And all those are rejoicing for a strong end of the year. Praise God, Adrian. I'm glad you finished strong. I'm glad you finished strong. We talked about chasing wisdom. But first we had to find out where wisdom was. And based on 2 Chronicles and Solomon, we find out that the owner of wisdom is God. Okay, and that if we want wisdom, then we should simply ask for it. But let it be known that wisdom was given to Solomon as well as riches, because Solomon was already moving in some sense of good judgment. Now we know that wisdom is actions and learning put together, which equals judgment. Okay, good judgment. And it tells us also in James 1st chapter that, if any man lacks it, ask God, So it leads me to believe that it's available to me. All right? It's available to me. And so we want to establish that a wisdom is available, and it does not have to come with prerequisite. Okay? You've got to get this. Hey, Anthony, you got to get this, because some of you are thinking, hey, Paris, I love you. Some of you thinking that there's got to be a special something that you have in order to get it. Now, of course, we do realize that Solomon was the son of David, and Solomon already had riches, but the Lord bestowed upon him the wisdom and riches. More money, more money. But Solomon was already leading. Hey, First Lady Edmonds, Solomon was already leading the people. So when he asked God for wisdom, it's because God approached him and asked him, what can I do? What is it that you want? And of all the things he wanted, he asked for wisdom. Okay? And because he was already moving in pretty good judgment. Now, we established that he was not moving in perfection. So write that down, that you don't have to be perfect to have wisdom. Write that down. Because I think some of you all think that's a prerequisite for having wisdom. Wisdom comes oftentimes at the end result of poor choices. Because if you learn from them, then you should become wise. Hey, Mrs. Hobbs. Hey, Gloria. Good to see you back. Good to see you back. Hey, Margaret. Maxwell, hey. Yeah, so when we're moving in judgment, sometimes it is the poor choices that we've made or the situations that we've gotten ourselves into that lean to a different judgment the next time out the trenches. My concern is that some of you are educated idiots, okay? And so you're confusing academia with wisdom, okay? Do not confuse academia and wisdom, okay? Wisdom is something that's nurtured and is chased after. And so since we know the originator of wisdom is God, or Solomon would ask God for it, and it would have said in James, if anyone asked God for wisdom. So we find out that it comes from God. So in order to be saturated or to get his overflow, in order to be one who receives his wisdom, we've established that we must be in his presence. All right? And so you guys got to understand that this is not a drive-through. All right? You've got to be in his presence, and you've got to spend some time with Jesus to get some of the overflow. Okay? And when you begin to get the overflow, we find out that whether he speaks or not, just being in his presence oozes some things I can receive from God. It's like the hyssop that he was washed in and made white as snow, or the cologne that he was saturated in by the sisters at the cross. It's an effervescence that overflows. You know it's in the room. You can just feel it. Once you see it or sense it, you know that there's something different about that person, or that person has something that they can share with you. Now, I'm concerned because I don't think that a lot of you really know the importance of it. Hey, St. Green, really know the importance of wisdom. Because sometimes you schlep it off, we talk about good advice. We talk about right answers. Sometimes wisdom is the most quiet thing in the room. Okay? Some of you think it means I've got to talk all the time. I've got to prove it to somebody. I've got to show them how smart I am. And I told you before, sometimes wisdom is best when he takes a back seat, when she takes a back seat. And so some of you are racing trying to get wisdom because what you're really looking for is promotion. All right. Hey, Bertha. And so when you begin to chase wisdom for the wrong reasons, you hit a brick wall. Because if you want promotion, then you should seek promotion. Because promotion also comes from God. All right? And so when you begin to move up alleys and down streets you know nothing about, you get confused. And once you get confused, what happens? You get discouraged. And once you get discouraged, you stop moving totally. And so we don't want that to happen. What we want you to do today, during this navigation through your life, we want you to use wisdom. Hey, Kenesha, we want you to use wisdom so there are some mistakes and some bumps and bruises that you don't have to repeat. Now, I'm stressing this because some of you have misconceptions of wisdom. Big Mama used to call it common sense. All right? And before we get into detail, we want to make sure that we understand what we're searching and what we're requiring and what we're asking for. Some of you are like going into the grocery store. You see somebody else with something and you go in there to get it and you get the wrong thing. You've got to know what you're asking for. You've got to know what you're trying to get. You've got to know what you're moving toward. And you got to know what you want. Okay, wisdom. Let's start off with basic. Crack kills. Okay, many things kill. Crack is addictive. And so research leans to the understanding that crack is addictive, but there's no research that says it's not. All right? And so what happens is if you get involved with crack and you take it on a regular basis, it's an addictive drug. So the odds of you using crack says what about you? Okay, see, to me that makes sense. If there's a stop sign at the street light, hey, Betty Cop, if there's a stop sign at the street light, at the corner of the street, then you should stop. Because it's there for a purpose. Okay, so don't try to make this thing difficult. I'm slow walking it down. I don't think that you're special. I'm not trying to put a helmet on you or anything like that. I'm trying to get you to understand. Quit trying to blow this thing out of proportion. Hey, Linda, quit trying to blow this thing out of proportion and just slow walk it down. Slow walk it down. It is simplistic. All right? If the stove is hot and someone else just touched the stove and their fingers blistered, what's the odds of you touching the stove and you not blistered? All right? Slow walk it down. Do y'all get this? Put your fingers up if you get it. Give me a thumbs up if you get it. You say, Pastor, why are you teaching us so slow? Because I'm telling you, I'm holding you accountable for what you're learning now. I'm holding you accountable. So when you go out and do the same thing, and then you come, well, Pastor, can you give me counseling? I can't give you counseling because you're not adhering to what I'm trying to teach you. Whatever it is, no matter how many pulpiteers, no matter how many pastors are in the pulpit, you are just as wise if you seek wisdom as they are. And sometimes, some cases, maybe more wise. But it has to be a pursuit of God. You've got to pursue God. You've got to pursue God. You know, some of you are buying textbooks and you're reading textbooks. Oh, that's great. Oh, that's wonderful. But if you're not wise in deciphering the textbook, you could be off on a tangent that's really not what the book is saying. All right. Let me go to some commonplace understanding. Let me give you the benefits of wisdom, and we'll go from there. I got some readers tonight, and we're going to do some benefits of reading, okay? We're going to get some of this reading, and you're going to understand, and then I'm going to break this thing down, and I hope I don't hurt your feelings while I'm doing it. All right? Let's look at Proverbs 3 and verses 13 through 15. I'm going to have a reader read that in just a second, coming from the NIV. There's a benefit. There's a benefit. Proverbs speaks of benefit. Proverbs speaks of a benefit in having wisdom. Okay, now we talked about walking in wisdom. That's navigation. We talked about running in wisdom. That means when you really got it down pat, you can move more fluidly in it. Now we're talking about chasing wisdom. See, because some of you think, well, now I got it, I'm cool. No, you've got to stay up on it. It's like going to a doctor who has an old license on the wall, or going to a hairstylist who only knows how to put in a ponytail. You know, you've got to stay up to date. And so when you're in the presence of God, whatever wisdom is bestowed in him is then bestowed upon you because you're in his presence. And so what you want to do, you don't get to sit down on God once you think you're wise. It's an everyday occurrence. Dr. Austin told me it's like a lesson I talk about the wheelchair. Okay, you can access the wheelchair. You can do whatever you need to do, long as you realize you need to access some things before you do it. Before I get up, hey Orion, before I get up in the morning, get out of the bed in the morning, I give God thanks, and I let him know I'm going to be with him all day long. The songwriter wrote, all day long I've been with Jesus. All day long I've been with him. My heart, my soul's been lifted. All day long I've been with him. That's pursuing. I want you to be relentless in seeking wisdom. I want you to get up in the morning, have it on your mind, at lunch, thank God for it. I want you to move in it so you can start bettering your life. This will make your life here on earth better. It will. I'm not going to be here and just be here until I die. There's got to be some great things here. This is not the word of Big Mama. This is not the word of Big Mama's God. It's got to be something better than this while here on earth. And I found out it happens through wisdom. When you say why? Because I like stuff. And I found out that wisdom will allow me to be in the presence of great things and stuff without having money. Now money, don't get me wrong, nothing's wrong with money. I love a little bit of it myself. But the bottom line is there are some places money is not welcome, but wisdom is. And those things, then doors begin to open and windows begin to open because of wisdom. Because of you knowing how to navigate through some situations. Are you understanding? Now we know what Proverbs is, the book of plain old good old common sense. Now some of you don't have common sense as you would think you should have. But we're going to work our way through it. We're going to Proverbs, the 3rd chapter, starting with verse 13. Are we ready? Okay, read.
Blessed are those who find wisdom, those who gain understanding. For she is more profitable than silver, and yields better returns than gold. She is more precious than rubies. Nothing you desire can compare with her.
All right. So we find out that the benefit of it is being blessed. Once you have it, is being blessed. And then it begins to put it in a category of cash flow. It is more valuable. And then it begins to name some of the things that we tend to think are valuable. Jewels and money. All right? So this is why John said, silver and gold have I none. Because there's something that's stronger than that. There's an entity, there's a currency that's stronger than money. Okay, write that down. There's a currency that's stronger than money. And that currency is select. All right? That currency is select. That means it picks and chooses, all right? It picks and chooses. It knows its place. So all of you are chasing the dollar, but you're making fools of yourself when you could be wise and then money will come to you. Okay, get this now. Get this. I don't leave my chair too often because money cometh. It didn't say money go find it. No, that's not the King English. The King's English, it said money cometh. It cometh. Riches cometh. Plunder seeks me out. All right. So while other people are chasing it, I'm being wise and waiting for the direction in which to go get my plunder. That's called navigation. All right? Because I didn't say this. This is in the Word of God. The Word of God lets us know that the currency that we value, money, means nothing when you have wisdom. And so while everybody else is chasing what they call the mighty dollar, sit down somewhere and be wise, because money will come. All right? So the benefit of it is being blessed enough to recognize that this is what takes place. And so if I'm blessed, that means I'm blessed in the city and out the city. That means I'm blessed in health and I'm blessed in wealth. That means I'm blessed in longevity. That means I'm blessed in beauty. It just means I'm blessed. And because of that, it's because of the wisdom. Now, this is the interpretation of wisdom that makes me blessed. It is the interpretation, because what wisdom does, it allows me to ignore some of the things that are going on so it won't pull me down and bring me down. Because one of the first places that we as Christians have difficulties is our self-esteem. Yeah. You allow outsiders to tell you who you are, and that's not wise. We allow outside circumstances. We allow rejection to make us feel some kind of way. We allow what people say to us make us feel some kind of way. But if I'm blessed in this thing, if I have wisdom and I seek after him and I chase him and I maintain my presence with him, my interpretation is what I am his work of art. Now we've established that. And so when people try to say things or do things or reject you, it cannot rest upon you, and it just slides off you like water on a duck's back, simply because I'm wise and I'm rooted in wisdom. It is not knowledge. Wisdom is not knowledge. Wisdom is application. And so when I'm sitting at the feet and when I realize who I am and who my daddy is, it's difficult for you to say things that will make me think contrary. Because it's not wise. So if you're saying this about me and I come from this entity called God, that means you're saying it about God, and I know I don't believe it about God, so I am his offspring, then I can't believe it about me. It's a blessing. Is a blessing. The benefit is a blessing. First of all, I'm blessed in all areas. And that is because I have something more valuable than the currency of the world. Let's go again. Let's go to Romans 12. Let's go to Romans 12. Let's talk about it just for a moment. Are we ready? 12 and 2. Start with verse 2. Read.
Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that then you will be able to test and approve that God's will is his good, pleasing, and perfect will.
So we find out that there's a renewing, there's a refreshing, there's this thing that comes over that allows us to do and feel something different. And this is so important because sometimes, I don't know about you, but I can revert back to being an idiot. How about you? Sometimes I can revert back to being the thug that I was. Sometimes I can revert back to being the vicious, mean, malice person that I once was. So I have to be on my grind to recognize that I must stay in tune and I must stay in pursuit of God and stay in pursuit of this so I can maintain my positioning in wisdom. Or my interpretations can get skewed because I'll toggle back and forth. Oh, you act like you don't understand what I'm saying. See, some of y'all ain't ready to go back in the crack house because you're still smoking crack. But once you're really free from crack and you stay in the presence of godly wisdom, going to the crack house won't have you toggle, won't have you want to take another toke. It will allow you to draw all men unto him. Go into the house, bring some souls out to be saved. But if you're not strong enough, then what happens is you go back and forth. And that's why you have to remain in the presence of God. Some of y'all don't pray. Some of y'all don't bless your food, but you always eat out in restaurants. Come on now. You know, why do you think you have rat traps outside restaurants? Okay, let's get with the program. Bless your food. Wash your hands. The basic understanding, you know, because you're trying to prolong some things. The wisdom of it is simple. It's just so simple. And what happens is if I don't renew my mind, if I don't stay fresh daily, I'm apt to resort back to the things that once destroyed me or was destroying me. So read again, Romans 2. Read it again, 12 and 2.
Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will.
Test, discernment. Discernment. You know, try it. Try it. You might like it. And come taste and see that the Lord is good. This is so important, the discernment of it. It's like entering the room and you know something's not quite right. You ever had the hair on the back of your neck stand up? You ever recognize, something's not right, and you leave that place and hours later you find out that there was a gunshot party or there was a fight at the party. Just certain things like that. It's the renewing of your mind, so when you stay fresh, when you stay in tune with God, there are some things through insight that will be shown to you. And so when you begin to move and navigate your life, you avoid a lot of potholes and getting wheel alignments because you know not to go down that street anymore. I'm just talking to you now. I'm talking, there's benefits of it. The benefit one, being blessed. Secondly, is discernment and insight. Discernment and insight, wisdom. Let's go. Somebody take Ephesians 4 and 21. Ephesians 4, 21 and 22. Read that for me.
When you heard about Christ and were taught in him in accordance with the truth that is in Jesus, you were taught with regard to your former way of life to put off your old self, which is being corrupted by its deceitful desires.
Simple as this, grace. I have an opportunity to shed some things. Not just poundage, not just weight, but my old ways. Like a snake. I can leave that skin behind and I can move on to something new. Because he's given me grace. That's grace to have this opportunity. First of all, we've already established I must believe what the word says about me. I just can't hear it. I've got to receive what the word says about me. Once I receive what the word says about me, then I can move and navigate through my wisdom. Once I begin to navigate through my wisdom, he's allowed me his grace that I might shed my old ways. That I might leave that behind me. There's a new creature. I've got to accept this. But some of you got that wowsy, whoa thing. Woe is me, woe is mine. I'm always going to be like this. I can't help myself. You can help yourself through Christ Jesus. The wisdom is he does the changing. I'm telling you, take your nasty self to Jesus. Take your nasty self to Jesus. Let him reject you. You start off wrong. Your wisdom says, I'm just not going to go to church until I get it right. Well, we're none right, so we none should be in church. We none should be there. I shouldn't be there. These robes I'm wearing, I shouldn't have them. Nope. I shouldn't have a key to the building. No. If he's going to reject me, he's got to tell me to my face, Kathy, stay your nasty tail at the house. He's going to have to tell me that. Because you know what? Why? Because I wake up pursuing him. I'm in his presence so much he can just say, no, get away from me, girl. But he doesn't because he wants me there. As dirty and as vile as I am sometimes, he wants me there. And it's my wisdom. It's up to me to have some of that sprinkled down from the head on me. He wants that for me. He wants it. Can you imagine he wants it for you? Something that you don't even want for yourself. He wants that for you. No matter where you've been, or no matter what you've done, no matter who you've done, he still wants you. The wisdom of that is just deafening. It's so simple. Because we've been taught that there must be a form of perfection or performance in order to want for someone to really love you. No. He would have put it in the streets. It's select now. Because he's recognizing everybody's not going to receive it. It's out there. Some of you just not reaching up to grab it. Well, why do you say, Pastor, why do you think people are not reaching up to grab it? Because some folk are lazy. Yeah, people don't want to chase it. Yeah, people don't want to chase God. They something about, I can't get you to roll over and take your laptop to bed. Unless you're looking at porn, I can't get you to get up and get service at 11 o'clock on Sunday morning. But don't let me take you to xxx.wnasty.com. Come on now. I'm not dumb to this game. I'm not dumb to the game. But I can't. You don't want to chase God, but you want to chase some T and some A. You know, what's another alphabet and some D? What? You want to chase alphabets, but you don't want to chase the G-O-D, the king of wisdom. You like living in a hole. Okay, I'm just going off on you. I want you to look at what some of the things that we do, that why I chase God so fervently, why I'm so passionate about chasing him. You know, at first, when I first got into this thing called Christianity, I thought it was a dark suit and a white collar, and a cassock and a robe. That's what I thought it was, and I didn't want any part of that. And then I found out what the real deal is. The real deal is relationship. But I was costuming. Shut the hell up. I'm telling you, those days are over. I'm no longer costuming for the kingdom. No, take me as I am. And if he doesn't want me, he's going to have to say, Kathy, step down. He's going to have to say it. Yeah, because you can't tell me nothing. Not now. No. Because I'm wise to this. Oh, yes. And there's levels to this issue, too. I'm wise to it. You know why? Because I stay in his presence. Some of y'all are trying to stay in my presence, and I stay in his presence. And every time I turn around, there's somebody else. Do you know how many robe stores and these things we wear cost thousands of dollars? And I can't figure out why am I buying this? It doesn't change what's on the inside of me. Oh, my God. The wisdom of it is deafening. It's so simplistic. Just as I am, without what? Oh, my God. And he chose me. So because we have a relationship, I decided to follow him. He decided to say, come on. So if I leave, it's because he's got to repel me. And until then, this is what you get. Uncut funk. This is what it is. This is the wisdom of it. The wisdom is to be satisfied in Christ. God, to be more careful. I am so satisfied. I feel like a song, but it's too late for me. Go to the Gospel of St. Luke, the 10th chapter. Work with me, rock with me, and walk with me all at the same time. Whew. The Gospel of St. Luke, the 10th chapter. Now you tell me if you don't see yourself in this text. Tell me. And then I'm going to put a caveat to you, and then you tell me if you see where I'm coming from. And let me know if you're feeling me right now. Let me know. Is anybody looking to run tonight? Because I'm telling you, if we were in church, I'd be done took off by now. No, I wouldn't. I'd be done called Slime and say, Slime, run for me. Stephen, run for me. Otis, give me a run. Somebody run for me. Because it's good to me. The purpose of this is for you to get an understanding of the importance of wisdom. What are you doing? I'm unzipping my robe. Because there's no place for it on the battlefield. I've never seen a robe appropriate on the battlefield. That's why I'm telling you, churches are dying. Because we're not on the battlefield. We in church. We in building. Our brothers and sisters are strung out. Our parents don't remember where they laid their head last. And we're buying $1,000 robes. Okay, anyway, let's go to the Gospel of St. Luke, the 10th chapter. And go to verse 38. Verse 38. Let me know when you're there. All righty then. Hey, Christopher McBerry. Amy running. Run, Minister Amy. Run, Kelly. Run for your pastor. Run for me. Let me see how many people will run for me. Run for me, Jed. Sister Katrina running for me. Run for me, Stephen. Run for me, Allie. Bang, run for me. All right now. Now, the Gospel of St. Luke, the 10th chapter. The 10th chapter, starting with verse 38. NIV, and I'll read. As Jesus and his disciples were on their way, he came to a village where a woman named Martha opened her home to him. All right? So Jesus and his boys, they was coming through, and she opened up her home to him. Now, reading this text, I want to put some time frames on here, okay? So was this prior to the death of Lazarus? And it was. All right? Put some, same house, same family members, put some text to it, put some time to it. I see you running for me, Mavis. Thank you. Thank you, Kanisha, for running for me. We're praying for your baby. Tavon, we're praying for him, baby. We're praying for him. Thank you, Simone, for running for me. It says here, so, that Martha opened her home to him. Now, based on the reading and the writing of this text, thank you, Big Daddy. Oh, you walking in and skipping. It led me to believe that it was a familiar place, and she knew what came with it. All right, listen, let me read it again. I'm going to break it down slowly. All right, as Jesus and his disciples were on their way, so they were transitioning, all right? They were navigating, they were moving. While Jesus and his disciples were on their way, he was not alone. You ever had somebody come to your house and they want to bring their family too? Okay, my bad. You got 24 hours in my house and you got to go. As Jesus and his disciples were on their way, he came to a village where a woman named Martha opened her home to him. Now, it's a bit obscure here because this is Mary, Martha, and Lazarus, the sister of Lazarus here. So it says prior to the relationship with her brother Lazarus, prior to them becoming close. So why would you open your home to Jesus and his disciples? Okay, just walk with me. Why would you open your home unless you had heard about him? And you thought hosting him would bring you what? Position. Oh, snap. You know, that's why, everybody want to invite the bishop to preach at their church. Don't Can he preach? Can she preach? Can she rightly divide? Can he dissect? Are they going to bore me? Are they going to feed my people? What is their purpose? So when you invite people to your home, there has to be something that you're looking for. Okay, just shut it down. Tomorrow's annual conference. Okay, it says here in verse 39, she had a sister called Mary. She had a sister called Mary who sat at the Lord's feet listening to what he said. So obviously they were gathered somewhere and he was what? Overflowing. Somebody say overflow. He was overflowing. That means he was a barge, baby, barge. He was spewing it out. He was doing his thing because they had been gathered enough. So he was probably talking to his disciples. And what Mary got a whiff of it. Because sometimes when wisdom is in the streets, you follow it. There was something happening here. Martha was looking for positioning. Mary was looking for a blessing. Shut it up! What are you looking for this evening? What's the purpose of your wisdom request? Look at it again. She had a sister called Mary who sat at the Lord's feet listening to what he said. So obviously, Mary found no value in that. Because she just thought he was talking. That's another concern I have with people who go to church. Some of your preachers just talking. You don't know how to live your life. You don't know what the purpose of the Bible is. You don't know that you should use it as an instruction tool. You just think it's bedtime stories. Oh my God, I am stepping on some toes, including mine. Okay, it says, let's go back to 39. She had a sister called Mary who sat at the Lord's feet listening to what he said. Somebody go to the KJ. Go to KJ. Go to KJ and read 39 for me, Stephen. Engineer. Go to KJ and read 39.
And she had a sister called Mary, which also sat at Jesus' feet and heard his word. I said Jesus.
Yeah, you said Jesus. I'm going to slap you in the back of the head for saying that. Okay, read it again.
And she had a sister called Mary, which also sat at Jesus' feet and heard his word.
Heard his word. Not his wisdom. Heard his word. All right? She didn't understand the importance of it. She didn't understand how come the preparation. This is how you get his attention. Come on, help me with this tater salad. Come on, let's sweep the kitchen. This is how you get his attention. Come put that pie in the oven. This is how you get his attention. Mary, pay attention. This is how you get his attention. And how you go just sit there and listen to him. We're trying to get someplace. He can elevate us. Oh, look at you chasing the wrong thing. Look at you chasing the wrong thing. Verse 40, but Martha was distracted by all the preparations that had to be made. Now, we got to figure out now, who told her to make these preparations? See, we all have an idea on how we want to follow Christ. We all have an idea of how the role is going to play out. We all have our own concepts. This is why you need someone to help you rightly divide. Do you all understand? The same textbook is used all over the world. It's called the Holy Bible. So some people's interpretations are different. That's why you need the called, who he has called, his messenger, to help you rightly divide. Well, you say, Pastor, what I'm saying is just because they're in the pulpit doesn't mean it's his messenger. It just means somebody got charisma and you allowed them to put a robe on and get in front of you. See, the wisdom is you've got to seek somebody out who your deliverance is connected to. Oh, too much on a Wednesday night. All right, let's do it again. Let's do it again. 40. But Martha was distracted by all the preparations that had to be made. Now, this is what gets me. She came to him. She came to him and asked, Lord, don't you care? Now, look at this. Look at this. Look at her positioning now. Look at how she approaches. So it's almost an oxymoron. She calls him Lord, but she speaks to him as a commoner. Oh, my. She says, Lord, don't you care? Now, look at the position. It's almost like she's accusing him of something. Don't you care that my sister has left me to do the work by myself? How dare you? So now she's approaching Lord, so she's heard about him. That means she knows nothing about him. Why? There's no relationship. The accusation here is offensive, and she was not ready for the response. She says, then, look at this, tell her. Oh, you telling God what to do. Tell her to help me. How wise is that? Or should I say, how dumb is that? Tell her to help me. Tell her. Tell her. I'm in here struggling. It's hot in this kitchen. I'm trying to do this for your guest. Did he request that of you? Or is that something you thought you had to do to gain positioning in his eyes? Then he caps her behind. He says, Martha, Martha, Martha. Oh, that's the Brady Bunch. Marcia, Marcia, Marcia. He says, Martha, the Lord answered, you are worried and upset about many things, comma. Yeah, he read a book. He said, you got a lot on your mind, sis. There's a lot you're telling me, but you're not telling me. And right then, his wisdom stepped back because he could have read her. But he did what he did to the woman at the well. He just opened the textbook just a little, so she would know who he really was. I'm more than a promotion. I'm more than money in your bank account. I'm more than new shoes. I'm more than a briefcase. I'm more than you getting your hair done. I'm more than you getting your nails done. I'm more than that. He says, you got a lot on your mind. And I can tell by the way you approach me, which is really not kind. What? It says, you are worried and upset about many things. What he's saying is, bite the right. Dog. Translate that. Some of you are giving people stuff that don't deserve it. You angry about stuff that happened in your past. Don't bring it up here in my present. What he's saying, I can see you got some issues here. I can see you upset about some things. You know, because we could have kept going. I thank you for the invitation. See, that's what he could have said. You the one said you want to stay here. I could. Look at what's happening here. Her lack of wisdom has caused her to put herself in a position that I'm finding if it wasn't God or Jesus, she wouldn't be able to redeem herself. It is the tender heart of God. It is the grace of God. It is the grace of his son Jesus that allowed him to even communicate with her based on tell her to help me. Martha, Martha, the Lord answered, you are worried and upset about many things, but few things are needed. So sit your behind down. That's what he wanted to say. Sit your behind down. All this stuff you running and chasing after don't mean anything if it's not ordained by me. You all want to make choices that God ordained as opposed to being wise and using his ordained choices from the beginning. Jeremiah, I know the plans I made for you. We talk about it all the time. So why you are chasing your tail? He says, you know what? But a few things are needed. All the stuff you're doing ain't necessary. Or indeed, only one. Now he says, you can do both things. But there's only one thing that's really needed. You missed that. You missed that. Listen to it again. Get ready to read KJV. Get ready to read 41 and 42 in KJV. It says, Martha, Martha, the Lord answered, you are worried and upset about many things. So he called her out. I see you, sis, but it's okay. He said, but I want to let you know, but a few things are needed. Just a few things. You don't have to lay out a spread. We could have just did, a cake of water and some bread. He said, all this other stuff, that's because you wanted to do it. Or indeed, only one. Only one thing's needed. Only one thing's needed. Only one thing's needed, and it's already here. It's the presence of the Almighty. Only one, because where He is, everything is. Do you understand that? That's wisdom. There is no want. There is no lack when He's present. He said, you trying to fill my belly up with chicken, but the word is overflowing right now. And you mad at Mary? Because only one thing is needed. It's for you to glean. For you to be fed on the word. The bread. The wine. Oh, Jesus Christ. And then Mary, come read it to me from the KJV before I get this. It's about time to go. Read it from the KJV.
41. And Jesus answered and said unto her, Martha, Martha, thou art careful and troubled about many things. But one thing is needful, and Mary hath chosen that good part.
What?
Which shall
Stop it! I didn't ask you to go no further. You complaining at the sister who saw it, and you didn't. She went for the one thing that was needed. What's needed in your life, children? The Word of God. The Word of God, the wisdom of God. Glean from it. Sit at His feet. Chase after it. Woo! Just salivate knowing that I'm going to wake up tomorrow and hit some more word. See, you've got to thirst after stuff like that. You've got to know how important it is. I am in relentless pursuit of His presence. And anybody who messes with me to try to keep me out of His presence, I'm taking them down. Yeah. See, that's when I toggle and go to that thug side. I tell you about people, red flag. You going to church again this Sunday? Well, where the hell else you going to go? And how did that other location help you out? It says, Mary has chosen what is better. Mary has chosen what is better. You all better quit doing the rocking chair. You're moving, but you ain't going nowhere. You better cut that out. Mary just wanted to do something. I got to do something. I got to do something. Hey, Faye, I got to do something. I got to do something. Sit your behind down. I know what I should have called this message. Sit your behind down. That's what I should have said. He said Mary was sitting at His feet. How about you sit down too? How about you sit down? How about you take care of yourself? It says Mary has chosen what is better, and it will not be taken away from her. So I will not. Now you got Martha all in a tizzy because she has no relationship with Christ. She has no relationship with Christ. And since she has no relationship, now she all pissed off. Now what good is it to do for you to be pissed off at God? I tell people that all the time. I'm mad at God. I'm not going to church. My mother died. We are put on this earth to die. He didn't specifically choose her out of zillions. It hurts you. You mourn the loss. You're going to miss them. But you too, this is not our home. Why you want to bring up death right now, Past? Because you know what? That's why Martha was that same frantic when they sent for Jesus, when Lazarus had died. She still had not learned. Come on now. She still had not gleaned the story of Mary, Martha, and Lazarus in the tomb. The message was sent for Jesus, and Jesus declined the message. He declined. He said, I'm going to chill a little while. We're going to sit here a little while. We're going to roller skate. We're going to have some popcorn, some ice cream, and then we're going to go slide by their house. And by the time he got there, who was the most frantic? Who was the most frantic? Show me Bible study students, theologians, who was the most frantic? The one who made fried chicken and tater salad? Or the one who ran to confront Jesus? Or was it the one who sat at His feet? I'll give you a minute to read it. Who was it? You got time. You got time to build a relationship. You've got time to seek wisdom. You've got time to glean. But you should start now. The importance of it is to start now. Get up in the morning with some vim and some vigor. Get up in the morning with energy, because it will give you a better day. Oh my God, my God, my God. We are not wise, but we're learned. You know, President Clinton, look at me going fast, had made it possible for millions of African American students to get their first degrees. I mean, he was the first president that opened doors that we could get to school. And so we leaned more toward education, but our ancestors leaned toward relationship. That's why they used to hum. And now everybody's saying speak clearly. Because humming confused the devil. You ever heard anybody tell you that? The old folks say just hum. When you don't know what to do, just hum and scramble the mind of the devil. You know, some of us got so much education, we scrambled our own minds. We've got degrees and we've left God. How'd that work out for you? You're supposed to be chasing God. We're chasing education and status. Because for some reason, we want to get costumed up. We want to put on finery and act like we know something that we don't. I'm here to tell you tonight, sit your behind down. Sit your tail down somewhere. That's what he wanted to tell Martha. Because Mary had already done it. It said that she sat at his feet and listened to what he was saying. When there's a good word being taught, you need to find yourself a seat. I'm admonish you. When you go to family reunion, take this word. Take them YouTube. Everybody want to put, look at, you know, people want to cast stuff on the TV. Put Pastor Kathy A. Merritt on there. New Birth Community, African Methodist Episcopal Church, where the word is rightly divided. What is your positioning? What are you doing? Ask God for wisdom. Make your day better. Make your life better. You don't have to stay in the state that you're in. Why? Because the potter wants to put you back together. You don't have to be fragmented like this. You don't have to do things. Some of y'all just run around doing things. No accomplishments, no accolades, no harvest, just doing things. Mary sitting down frying chicken. Do you want what sauce? She was tossing it in all kinds of sauce. Can you imagine what was going on in that kitchen? Flour all on her face, got wings everywhere. You want buffalo Q? What you want? You want honeydew melon dip? What do you want? And he said, Martha. You know what I like about it? He called her name twice. Why? Because he wanted her full undivided attention. Martha! Sit you down. So, is anybody calling your name tonight? Are you wise enough to hear? Are you wise enough to hear the call? Was Martha wise enough, or was she in tune enough to hear the disdain in his voice? I'm disappointed, but still welcoming her. What are you saying, Pastor? I'm saying, yeah, he's got to be disappointed in me sometimes, but he ain't never told me, get away from me. Never. Some of you are running from God. He would really appreciate it if you chase him, because he's not a rapist. He's available to you, and that's why he put wisdom in the street. He said, because maybe I can get them to chase wisdom, then I could get them to have a relationship with me, and they can see the benefit and the value of it. I don't know if you see the value in knowing Christ, but I'm offering it to you tonight. If you're not saved, DM me. My time is almost up. DM me, and we will offer Christ to you. I will call you on your phone. I'm just that kind of pastor. I don't have on a robe to put on tonight, but if I need to put on one to impress you, I own them. I was foolish enough to get adorned in those things, but they have no place on the battlefield. And I want to go to war with you, because that's what he'll be. When you're in trouble, he's right there with you. This is why I chase him, because I am never alone. What manner of man is this? What? His name is Jesus. The 3-in-1. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. I got backup. Why? Because I learned to chase him. My time is up. And I really, really do appreciate you spending yours with me. What? They say I cannot according to that. Okay? So this is what I'm saying to you. Don't go nowhere yet. I've just been informed I got 3 extra minutes. And you know, I like to milk a good cow. So if there's time I have, I'd like to use it. I need for you to understand that when you're moving in wisdom, you're moving in relationship. And when you're moving in a relationship, you should feel so honored to be in his presence. You know, every time I think about the goodness of Jesus, a smile comes to my face and all that he's done for me. My soul cries out, hallelujah. I couldn't have made it without him. And some of the things that I've said and some of the things that I do is not because I know so much, but because I rest in his presence and he speaks through me. Oh my God. You see, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. When they ask me, I don't know what to say. That's when you extend and allow him to say it for you. That is the wisdom of it. He'll give you what to say. He told Moses in Exodus, he said, Moses, I don't know what to say. What am I going to say? He said, you go, and I'll tell you what to say when you get there. Will you get there? Will you follow him? Will you trust him enough to go? Will you trust him enough to know that he'll put the right words on your lips? Will you accept the word of God to know and navigate through your life to knowing that he wants the best for you and that he loves you, and because he loves you, he would not give you a rock if you were hungry. He'd give you bread. Do you trust that in him? Do you trust the fact that he died upon the cross of Calvary for your sins and for your suffering, not for his? Do you trust that? Do you have a relationship enough with him to know that the wisdom of God will flow from him? His cup floweth, runneth over, and if you're in his presence, you'll be saturated with what was in his cup. Trust that. That's wisdom. It doesn't mean a PhD. It doesn't mean an LSW. It doesn't mean an MBA. No, that's not what it means. No. It means that what comes from him comes through me. Trust that. Now, my time is up, and I thank you for spending yours with me. I'm so time conscious because I want to always leave you wanting more. And I appreciate you saying, do we have to go? I could do more. But I think this is enough because I don't want to outwear my welcome. Tell me. Cheryl, will you be with me on Sunday at 11? Jonathan, come see us Sunday at 11. Minister Amy, Sunday at 11. You know, I like to book people's calendars. I like a good date. Bertha, can you get there Sunday at 11? Huh? Okay, be the LSW. Sister Katrina. Gloria. Hey, Gloria, Sandra's sister. Welcome. Come with me. Be with me. Sunday at 11. Zesta, love you. Enjoy your conference. Thank you, Lady Evans. Thank you, I will. Kathy Hudson, it's a pleasure. I'll see you all on Sunday morning. I love you, Robin. O.C. Tay and Liv. I love the whole family. Lady Cousins, I love you. Sister Ann, see you Sunday. I love you. Walk in wisdom. All you got to do is walk with God. The rest is a cakewalk. Walk with God and trust him. That's walking in wisdom. Yes, Lord, I'll be there too. My time is up. Simone, you be safe out there. I love you guys. My time is up. And thank you for spending your time with me. Bye-bye.